Kalopapannam phalamavyanukti.
Kalopapannam phalamavyanukti.
It's not avyaktananti, it's avyanakti.
Avyanakti.
Alinyamaya rachitanattaratma.
Alinyamaya rachitaratma.
Swadehinam samsriti chakrakutaham.
Swadehinam samsriti chakrakutaham.
Materialistic mind, covering a living entity's soul, carries it to different species of life. This is called continued material existence. Due to the mind, the living entity suffers or enjoys material distress and happiness. In thus illusion, mind further creates pious and impious activities and their karma, and thus the soul becomes conditioned. Same thing, associating. According to what you associate, you are going to take birth accordingly in different species and so on. And then accordingly there is happiness and distress. But if the mind is allowed to go like that, then who is the one who is suffering? No? The soul who is attached to the body and the mind and senses. He thinks he is the doer, right? Previously we were looking at it, Prakriti Kriyamani Gunai Karma Sarvasa. Based on his false ego, he is thinking he is doing. But if the mind is now focused on the service, engaged in the service of the lotus feet of Krishna, then everything else is automatically engaged positively. Yeah. Okay, so
next one. Tavanayam vyavaharaha sadhavihi kshetrajna sakshyo bhavati sthula sukshmaha tasman manolingam vadanti guna gunatvasya paravarasya.
Mind makes a living entity within this material world wander through different species of life, and thus the living entity experiences mundane affairs in different forms as a human being, demigod, fat person, skinny person, and so forth. Learned scholars say that bodily appearance, bondage and liberation are caused by the mind. Again the same thing, you know.
So Jadabharta is not forgetting the thinness and fatness.
No.
It's continuing the same thing.
Same thing. So continue.
Big one.
Same meter.
Gunanuraktam yasanaya jantuh Kshemaya nairgunyamato manasyat Yata pradipo grihatvartimasnan Shikha sadhuma bhajatihi anyadasvam Padam tata gunakarmanubhandam Vrittir manashriyate nyatra tattvam.
The living entity's mind becomes absorbed in the sense gratification of the material world. It brings about his conditioned life and suffering within the material situation. However, when the mind becomes unattached to material enjoyment, it becomes the cause of liberation. When the flame in a lamp burns the wick improperly, the lamp is blackened. But when the lamp is filled with ghee and is burning properly, there is bright illumination. Similarly, when the mind is absorbed in material sense gratification, it causes suffering, and when detached from material sense gratification, it brings about the original brightness of Krishna consciousness. So basically, if you are into material things, trying to enjoy the senses and so on, it is not possible to become Krishna conscious. But if you understand that situation and take up the process of Krishna consciousness, then you find that you are actually becoming more Krishna conscious, or you lose taste of material things. You automatically you can sense the fact that you are no more attracted by material things.
But some minimum amount of material activity is needed by anybody.
Yeah. But you are not attached to the material things in terms of sense enjoyment. You do the needful to maintain body, mind. Okay, like that.
Ekadasasam manaso hi vrittaya akutaya panchadiyo bhimanaha matrani karmani puram cha tasam vadanti haikadasa vira bhumihi.
There are 5 working senses and 5 knowledge acquiring senses. There is also the false ego. In this way, there are 11 items for the mind's functions. O hero, the objects of the senses such as sound and touch, the organic activities such as evacuation, and the different types of bodies, society, friendship and personality are considered by learned scholars the fields of activity for the functions of the mind, Kshetra and Kshetragya.
So this Sankhya is slightly different than Kapila's Sankhya, but more or less covers the same thing.
It's the same thing. It's just how you are presenting it here. Text 10.
Gandha kriti sparsha rasa sravansi visargaratyarti abhijalpa silpaha ekadasam swikaranam mameti sayyamaham dvadasameka ahuhu.
Sound, touch, form, taste and smell are the objects of the 5 knowledge acquiring senses. Speech, touch, movement, evacuation and sexual intercourse are the objects of the working senses. Besides this, there is another conception by which one thinks, this is my body, this is my society, this is my family, this is my nation and so forth. This 11th function of the mind is called the false ego, Ahankara. According to some philosophers, this is the 12th function and its field of activity is the body. Right? And we have done this in the Bhagavad Gita.
Right.
Text 11.
Dravya svabhavavasya karma kaler ekadasami manaso vikarah sahasrasa satasha kotisasa cha Kshetrajñato namito nasvatasyuhu.
Translation: the physical elements, nature, the original cause, culture, destiny, and the time element are all material causes. Agitated by these material causes, the 11 functions transform into hundreds of functions and then into thousands and then into millions. But all these transformations do not take place automatically by mutual combination. Rather, they are under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is always a brain behind everything. Right?
So is destiny also material cause? Destiny is under the supervision of the Lord, right?
Yeah.
Karma Devanetena. So why is it called a material cause here?
It's a material cause, right? It's based on your desires, right? Oh, thank you. Everything is material. Desire, material desires. What's the future is your karma, right?
Karma is material.
Yeah. So the Lord, as the super soul, right? He can oversee according to our karma and so on. Okay, you deserve this now, you don't deserve it. Okay, you desire this. Yes, you are able to desire it. Not yet. He is a permitter and the witness. So, we may think we are in charge, but we are actually not in charge. Remember Kshetra, Kshetragya? There's two types of Kshetra and two types of Kshetragya. Like that. But everything is under the supervision of this.
I think all these 5 or 6 verses are just based on that one verse of Krishna.
It's all about mind and the controlling the mind and who controls it actually. Text 1.
Kshetrajna eta manaso vibhutir Jivasya maya rachitasya nityah Avirhitaha kvapi tirohitasya Shuddho vichaste hi avishuddha kartuh.
The individual soul bereft of Krishna consciousness has many ideas and activities created in the mind by the external energy. They have been existing from time immemorial. Sometimes they manifest in the awakening state and in the dream state. But during deep sleep, unconsciousness or trance, they disappear. The person who is liberated in this life, Jivan Mukta, can see all these things vividly. So, this is what we are doing. We are dreaming every day. Even when we are awake, we are dreaming about how to do this, what to get, what plans.
Sankalpa Vikalpa.
Yeah, the mind rejects this, accepts that, and we seem to enjoy doing that. If we don't do that, we become very unhappy. So therefore, it's very hard for a person to sit down quietly unless they are trained. And then when you are trained, then you know what to focus, and the focus is real, and therefore you are peaceful.
Satisfying.
It
is satisfying.
Satisfying, of course. When you focus on the Supreme Lord, His service, it becomes very natural. The other thing is, material things are not natural, therefore you are never happy. You can't be.
Always hankering.
Yeah. And everything, you adjust one thing, something else goes off. It's like you're given two things. One is like a mold or like a box and a lid. The lid looks exactly like the box, but when you try to close it, it doesn't fit properly. So if you try one corner, another corner pops up like that. Have you ever come across this kind of thing? And it's very frustrating. And that's our material life. We're always trying to fit everything and it doesn't quite fit. Life is like that. But when we are trained nicely, then we know how to put things in the box and everything fits nice. The only thing that you can put in the box is Krishna conscious activities. Anything else we put sticks out. So, idea is, that is the point Prabhupada wants us to understand is we have to be always engaged in devotional service. Somehow connect with Krishna, and not only for ourselves, we also make sure others are engaged also. Okay. So if you do that, then you are liberated already in this material world, because you're always thinking of where is Krishna. So Yarasya Hare Dasya Karmana Vansagi Nikilasvapi Avastasu Jivanasya. So use everything in the service of Krishna. So externally they may seem like they are part of the material existence, but actually they are always connecting with Krishna. That's very important.
Kshetrajna Atma Purusha Puranaha Sakshat Swayam Jyotirajah Pareshah नारायणो भगवान् वासुदेवः
नारायणो भगवान् वासुदेवः
स्वमाययात्मनि अवाद्यमानः यथा नीलः स्थावर जगामाननं यथा नीलः स्थावर जङ्गमाननम् आत्मस्वरूपेण निविष्ट ईशत् एवं परो भगवान् वासुदेवः क्षेत्रज्ञ आत्मेदम् अनुप्रविष्टः.
This is Bhagavad Gita. There are two kinds of Kshetrajya. The living entity as explained above, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is explained as follows. He is the all-pervading cause of creation. He is full in himself and is not dependent on others. He is perceived by hearing and direct perception. He is self-effulgent and does not experience birth, death, old age or disease. He is the controller of all demigods, beginning with Lord Brahma. He is called Narayana, and he is the shelter of living entities after the annihilation of this material world. So Narayana, that's what it is. Big shelter of him. He is full of all opulences and he is the resting place of everything material. He is therefore known as Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By his own potency, he is present within the hearts of all living entities, just as the air or vital force is within the bodies of all beings, moving and non-moving. In this way, he controls the body. In his partial feature, the Supreme Personality of Godhead enters all bodies and controls them. He's talking about the Paramatma. Okay? How the Paramatma is expanded into the living entities from the one of the Purusha avatars, right? He is the first of the three Purusha avatars. And from their expansion, Garbhodakasha, Shirodakasha. Shirodakasha then expands into all the living entities and within the atoms, outside the atoms, like that. Yeah. So without him, nothing in this universe moves. Okay, so Prabhupada therefore quotes this nice verse: Maya tatam idam sarvam jagadavhyakta murtina matstani sarva bhutani nachaham tesha vistitaha. Everything is there, but he is not really there, but he is there because of his expansion. Alright, continue.
Nayavadetam tanubrinnarendraм vidhuyamayam vayunodhyayena vimukta sango jitasatsapatano vedatmatavam brahmati hatavat. Sorry, it's vedatmatattvam brahmati hatavat.
My dear King Rahugana, as long as the conditioned soul accepts the material body and is not freed from the contamination of material enjoyment, and as long as he does not conquer his 6 enemies and come to the platform of self-realization by awakening his spiritual knowledge, he has to wander among different places and different species of life in this material world. So a lot of designation, right? We hanker for position, fame, all this, all designation, temporary designation. It's not a permanent situation. But that's what our mind is absorbed in at the moment, and the whole idea is to get out of those basically desires, anarthas, desires. I am American, then you migrate to some place, then you become a different person. Still the same person, but the designation changes. Right? Then you are a single man, single woman, get married, you become a family. right? Right. So now, are you? What is it? Are you Indian or are you American?
Dual citizen.
Yeah. So some say dual. So where's your?
Indian American, different designations.
Yeah, it's confusion. So then, where's your, faith in? Who do you favor more? Like that. And then within that, even within, let's say you say I'm dual, then but which are you more? Right? And then after that, within family, you say I am of this caste, I am of that caste, right? Particularly the Indians have all these categories. So all these are just designations, all the time you find that, they all are devotees, but yet they'll say, oh, I'm born from this place, where are you from, which university you went. All this, come on. When you go back to the spiritual world, all this doesn't matter.
But that is just for bonding.
Huh?
We ask these questions, but that's just for bonding.
Bonding, yeah. No, it's hierarchy, pecking order.
But sometimes if we know each other, then we know how to exploit each other.
Yeah, that's pecking order. Why we ask is so we want to feel better than them. Yeah, I come from, I'm a Kshatriya, you're a Brahmana.
I went to Stanford, you went only to...
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, I'm a Stanford man, I'm a Harvard man, I'm a foolish man, Nobody will say that. So it's all designation, and designation is temporary. Based on the science of the soul, we know it's temporary.
If you identify like this guru, that is also same.
You're not supposed to know, because Guru is
One.
one. Guru is one. I mean, spiritual is one. That means they're all teaching the same instructions.
Krishna is the Adi Guru. Krishna
Yeah.
and
He's the original Guru. Guru is one. We shouldn't say this Guru is different, that Guru is better. Like I said this morning, I explained, it's all expansions of Krishna's energy, importance. Each one have their own way of seeing Krishna in that personality who's your Guru. Yeah, and that's what you are attracted to. So ultimately, that Guru is the one who shows you Krishna, or Krishna reveals through him. So it is like, so therefore, according to Nectar of Devotion, Sarvopadi Venir Muktam. You have to give up this designation. Right? And everything is for Krishna. So if it's based on Krishna, what is the designation? I am servant, that's all. That's the only designation. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm better than you, you're better than me. I come from this dynasty, you come from another dynasty. My ancestors were Chola kings, and who were your ancestors? All nonsense.
No, but actually that happened apparently even in the beginning days of our movement here.
Yeah.
Like somebody was claiming, hey, we have more fill in the blank type of people in ISKCON.
Mm.
Somebody apparently said that even in America.
Yeah, of course. Because we see through a material vision. Right? If you wear a red sunglass, what do you see?
Red.
Everything is red. So the person was seeing through a particular sunglass. So if they see a Jewish sunglass, they see all the gurus are Jewish, like that. And then if they see Indian, and then all they'll say is Indian. I remember many times in the beginning, even now, I think there's a lot of these Indian people who are all elderly and all, they only want Indian guru.
Mm.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah. So that's there. You can't. In some cases you cannot avoid that because of the conditioning. So then how? They will you hope that they will learn through the process that this was only bodily. Even if the guru is so good, they'll say no, I only want Indian person. So it's already ingrained in their consciousness.
No, actually one Westerner, he told me that he's only looking for an Indian guru.
Yeah, that's what
because
I'm saying.
He's seen so many of Westerners around, so he wants some novelty basically.
But yeah, it's a novelty. That's it's a foolish way of choosing guru, but that's not how you choose a guru.
Yeah.
You know,
Not by externals.
not by externals. You don't. They must touch your heart, and you are sure they are going to deliver you from this material thing. Then you surrender. That makes sense. But oh, he dances so nicely, especially when he turns his head like that. Oh, that's so nice. He's the guru for me.
He looked at me.
He looked at me. All kinds you can see.
Some people are attracted to kirtans.
Yeah, that's okay. It's all right, you know.
When
But
lectures.
the thing is, ultimately, you know, whatever you are attracted to, you must have that faith that this person can deliver me.
That is the main thing.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to pick like that, then you don't know anything, then you wait. You don't, no, not ready for initiation.
Because when in Dubai we were a group of boys living together, we started Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
We were, one boy was from Pushtiman. And I was thinking that he understood Islam philosophy, but one day one of his gurus came from somewhere, and that guru just told him, "I've come for you." And that boy just got initiated from this guru, that man.
Yeah.
So he just flattered him, "I just came for you," something like that, and he got emotionally attached. And he just initiated.
Exactly.
So I was thinking, oh, what happened?
What happened? Because he
He
did
all the time, and you just like that. No, the reason was wrong. The guru was saying, "I just came for you," and he just didn't even check. His
No, this
guru
is all
or-
sentimental.
Yeah, sentimental.
Basically, he said, "Oh, he's from my same caste.
Yeah.
He came for me. Oh, I'm so touched. I can't sleep
That was
anymore."
his, consideration for taking. This
Yeah, that was his consideration. A lot of people are like that. You know, if you find that if you extend a little bit to help somebody, they feel so obligated or indebted. No? But that shouldn't be the criteria for taking a spiritual master. You know. Okay, next one.
Nayavadetam mana atmalingam samsarata pavapanam janasya yakchoka mohamaya ragalobha vairānudubandham mamatham vidatte.
The soul's designation, the mind, is the cause of all tribulations in the material world. As long as this fact is unknown to the conditioned living entity, he has to accept the miserable condition of the material body and wander within this universe in different positions. Because the mind is affected by disease, lamentation, illusion, attachment, greed and enmity, it creates bondage and a false sense of intimacy within this material world. So we all know this. Mind is the cause of bondage, and the mind is also liberating. Right? So you have to train the mind. How do you train the mind?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Devotional service and chanting holy name. Devotional service means you're always associating. Chanting is also associating, but it is purifying also and controlling your senses. Right? So all this, like a package Srila Prabhupada has given for us. You can't just do devotional service and not chant.
Devotion service includes all 9 processes.
Yes, but for some people devotional service means
Service in the
it's
temple.
only service only,
Ah.
not chanting. So it means, that's why I qualify and say devotional service and chanting.
It's good for them.
Because for them, oftentimes when you say devotional service, they're only thinking of physical thing or something. You know. They're not thinking of, like you said, the 9 processes.
Yeah, the student who came to my class this morning, very attentive, went through or read all the shlokas, but when he came for chanting towards the end, he basically phased out. He chanted a little bit and he couldn't do it anymore.
So it takes time. You know, these things take time. Yeah, because your mind is so agitated. You go out like here, you see here is a bit calm, but just over the fence, all the cars are going. You know, so fast they are moving. They are going where? Right? Yeah. So its mind is like that.
When we do Nagar Sankirtan book distribution, The people walk from here to there. After 10 minutes, you see them walking back. Same set of people, aimless.
Yeah, because they
You don't know why they went there.
They also don't know. You know. They're just walking. Nice day to walk. So they walk. So they wander within the universe. Brahmandi Brahmiti Kono Bhagyavanji. Text 17.
Bhratravyamam enam tadadhavar viryam upekshaya yajiyedhitham apramatah Guror Haresh Charanopasanaastro Jahi Vyalikam Swayamatmamosam.
This uncontrolled mind is the greatest enemy of the living entity. If one neglects it or gives it a chance, it will grow more and more powerful and will become victorious. Although it is not factual, it is very strong. It covers the constitutional position of the soul. O King, please try to conquer this mind by the weapons of service to the lotus feet of the spiritual master and of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Do this with great care. So care must be there when we do service also. As I always tell you all, you think why you're doing it and then be conscious of doing it. We are supposed to be Krishna conscious of what we are doing. Not blindly follow and do and then don't know what we did. Right?
But are we not using the mind again in that process of consciously?
When you use the mind in the service of Krishna, that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah. Idea is to use it in the service of Krishna. Right? So when you're thinking of service for Krishna the whole day and then you go to bed and wake up, it's all okay. It's all service for Krishna. That way you find you can control your mind. I mean, otherwise what do you think the whole day? You are working and you come home, you don't think about Krishna all the time. So what do you think?
Remnants of the whole day.
Remnants of the day, many things. The mind travels at the speed of the mind is, you cannot even estimate.
Yeah, faster than light.
Yeah. So many things goes through in one day, 24 hours. How many you can make into, how many terabytes? Not even enough. Right? The mind can, so many. And sometimes you think of the same thing in a million different ways. I should have done this way. Should have done it slightly this way. Maybe this way. This way. The same stupid thing your mind will work on. And all that you store somewhere inside. You store in the cloud. Actually you store in the ether. Not in the cloud. And then it'll come and disturb you. The subtle mind is like that, it's like a cloud. Unlimited storage.
Use this quote. Subtle mind is like a cloud.
It's like that,
Limited storage.
In the material world is limited, but then this unlimited actually, you can't understand how it's unlimited. Maybe they store the information on the DNA level or molecular level information. So we don't know how it's stored, but because the Paramatma is there. So that's where the storage occurs.
So maybe there is some cloud component to it.
Yeah.
Because we are connecting with Paramatma.
Yeah,
also
of
at
course
the
you
same time.
are. Everything is based on reality. This is just perversion of reality. Think about it, because those days the sages could recall everything because they access the Supreme Lord. Knowledge is given through Divya, right? Now we're using the same thing, but it's all based on material energy. So
it's much reduced form.
yeah, so it's limited, but it's a crude way, but still it's getting very subtle also. Radio waves and so on, like that. So the way we control our mind is we take shelter of a higher authority, spiritual master. Because then you can't give excuses. If you're on your own, you will give excuse. Beautiful excuse.
Mind like tricks.
Yeah. I was saying the other day in a class, we have 18 cantos, 12 cantos, but the excuses we give is more than 12 cantos.
15 candles.
New Bhagavatam.
Yeah, that's our Bhagavatam. Our Bhagavad Katha.
Excuse me.
Yeah. So when you surrender to an authority who is surrendered to his authority all the way to Krishna, naturally our mind is controlled. That's the best way to control. You listen and follow instruction. That's why I say the best and safest way is to be a servant. You cannot go wrong. You know. Otherwise you'll end up in some universe doing some other activity you don't want to do. Alright, that should cover the 11th chapter.
Yeah, that's 11th chapter.
So this you can see primarily he's talking about how to deal with the mind and what the mind does if you don't deal with it properly. Okay, chapter 12. Conversation between Maharaj Rahugana and Jadabharata.
Brahmana Uvacha.
Really?
Maybe I was in the wrong chapter. What chapter are we supposed to be? I went to 13.
That's the mind.
In the previous answer, not in the current.
It's mind.
That's the mind. That's mind. No, just said that, so you cannot blame me. It's the mind. I am not the mind, right?
I'm not the body.
Rahugana Vacha. Namo Namaha Karana Vigrahaya. Swarupa Tuchkirtrita Vigrahaya. Namo Vadhuta Dvijabandhulinga. Niguda Nityanubhavaya Tubhyam.
King Rahugana said, "Oh, most exalted personality, you are not different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By the influence of your true self, all kinds of contradiction in the Shastras have been removed. In the dress of a friend of Brahmana, you are hiding your transcendental blissful position. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you." So what Jadabharat told the king, like I said, sometimes you go to a class, the person speaking may touch your heart. You realize this person is, and I can realize that. But another person will say, I didn't get anything out of it. So here you see the king got something out of it, which means the king himself is elevated spiritually. For him to be touched by someone else must be more elevated. So therefore he is acknowledging that position of Jadabharat. And so he already said, you are my guru, so he is thanking him for clearing doubts, just like Arjuna also in the 11th chapter, right? Yeah. Okay, next.
Jvaramayarthasya yatha kadam sat Nidhagadagdhasya yata himabha Kudeha mana hi vidasta drishte Brahman vachaste mritam anusadham me Mritam aushadam me.
Oh, best of the Brahmanas, my body is filled with dirty things. And my vision has been bitten by the serpent of pride. Due to my material conceptions, I am diseased. Your nectarian instructions are the proper medicine for one suffering from such a fever, and they are cooling waters for one scorched by the heat. Right? And when we chant the Shikshashtaka, right? Cheto Darpanam Marjanam Bahama Davagni. Yeah, so this we are existing in this material world like a hot house, so full of fire. So the king is taking a humble position, and he's openly declaring in front of the other personalities also that he is actually not a high elevated person, and that he is actually conditioned person. Yeah. But he says, hearing from the Jadabharat, he is feeling better. He is able to realize his constitutional position. Okay.
Is he realizing the position or just Kleshagni? He's feeling the loss of material miseries.
No, he is realizing his constitutional
Position directly in one
Yeah,
encounter.
Yeah, it is. These are amazing personalities. Well, maybe another few minutes he'll realize, but he already realizes that he is a servant and not the master. Remember, they started off with that discussion, master and master. Text 3.
Tasmad bhavantam mama samaya sorry. Let me restart. Tasmad bhavantam mama samshayartham Rakshyami paschad adhuna subhodham Adhyatma yoga gratitham tavoktam Akhya hi kautuha lakcheta some.
Whatever doubts I have about a particular subject matter, I shall ask you about later. For the time being, these mysterious yoga instructions you have given me for self-realization appear very difficult to understand. Please repeat them in a simple way so that I can understand them. My mind is very inquisitive and I want to understand this clearly. The same thing in this case of Krishna and Arjuna also in the battlefield. Arjuna asked Krishna many times to clarify from the beginning what do you mean by sannyas and what do you mean by yoga and what do you mean by karma.
Kim karma, kim akarmeti.
Yeah. So similarly, it is proper.
Etiquette.
Yeah, etiquette. It's proper to question the spiritual master, but in a humble way.
Clear
To clear doubts. Yeah. It's proper to question, and it is the right of the disciple to ask the questions, so that you can understand properly how to execute the instructions. The whole purpose behind questioning is to doing, not just, oh, I asked a wonderful question. And then, what about it? No, I don't know. He answered, I didn't understand. But yeah, the question was good. So the idea is to ask the question so that you can act on that answer. Right? And to act on that, sometimes you may not understand even the answer because you may not be qualified yet. Yeah.
Or purified.
Yeah, not sufficiently. So then what to do?
Just meditate.
Continue serving the spiritual master.
This is what happens in my class. They'll ask the same question for 21-25 times minimum over a period of 3-4 months. They give the answer and the answer is not different, and after 3-4 months they'll say, oh, I think I understand now, or something like that.
Yeah, it happens. Maybe you continue for another 2-3 years, they'll ask the same question.
Oh, okay.
It is. Then you will wonder, did they really understand the first time? Because they are understanding different levels. They have different realizations.
Yeah,
Each time. And same with us also.
Yeah, we ask the same question so many times.
Yeah, because that's how, because the mind is like a kaleidoscope, no? So many
ideas.
It just keeps coming up. So same way. Yeah. So it's nothing wrong. Let people ask as long as it helps them. Yeah. But ultimately, you have to serve. When you serve sincerely, the knowledge becomes realized.
Jnana to Vijnana.
Yeah. You will understand. Okay, this is what my spiritual master wants me to do. So like Mataji was saying, meditate on it. What does it mean? You continue your service, then it will appear to you. Right? So anyway, one has to do it in a very humble way. Questioning. Text 4.
यदाह योगेश्वर दृश्यमानम् क्रियाफलं सत्यवहारमूलम् नाहि अंजसा तत्त्वविमर्शनया भवान् अमुस्मिन् भ्रमते मनो मे.
Master of yogic power, you said that fatigue resulting from moving the body here and there is appreciated by direct perception, but actually there is no fatigue. It simply exists as a matter of formality. By such inquiries and answers, no one can come to the conclusion of the absolute truth. Because of your presentation of this statement, my mind is a little disturbed. Prabhupada answers, formal inquiries and answers about the bodily conception do not constitute knowledge of the absolute truth. Okay? Sometimes you have to talk about certain things before you go into talking about Krishna. First you have to know who Krishna is, right? Then we talk about Krishna's pastime. If you go straight into Krishna's pastime, you think it's you don't understand, you think it's a mythology, some concoction. But if from Canto 1 you read, then you know what a Supreme Lord can and cannot do. So similarly, sometimes we ask certain questions. It may deal with logics, and so one has to relate in that sense.
So I'm remembering the statement in Upanishads, right, where it says we simultaneously cultivate knowledge of
Both positive and negative.
yeah, nations, knowledge, ignorance and
Knowledge.
Well, ignorance is what? Material things.
Yeah.
Vidya, Vidya.
advance.
Vidya and
Vidya and
avidya.
avidya has to be learned
So that's why I'm
simultaneously.
not able to understand. Here it says that
Well,
doesn't constitute the absolute.
Not that you learn ignorance, you know what is ignorance.
What is not.
Yes,
evident.
what is ignorance and what is not ignorance. Not that you become ignorant. You learn to differentiate. Okay, this is why do we actually study? So we can differentiate and get the best. Intelligence is meant for differentiation. So discrimination, so you can differentiate and pick the right things. Otherwise the intelligence will be used for what? Yeah, basically that's all. So therefore you need to know what Vidya and Avidya is. Without Krishna consciousness, you will only, because you will not know anything else, then you will only go towards Avidya. Right? So what is wrong with having a home? What is wrong with having family? What is wrong in cultivating material knowledge? Nothing. That's so far, if you don't want to go back to Godhead, it's okay. Yeah. But with Krishna consciousness, then you can see one is real and one is false. And this is all actually, we are all doing it out of ignorance. Therefore, Vidya and Avidya is important in that sense. Right? So then knowledge of the Absolute is quite different from formal understanding of bodily pains and pleasures. So you need to know that also, so you can take care of your body's needs and so on. Yeah. But in reality, it is under material knowledge. Yeah. But it's also coming from Krishna. Yeah. So therefore, in one sense, people can say Vidya is also coming from Krishna, which is true. Yeah?
It's absence of Vidya is Avidya.
Yeah, that's right. So both are there simultaneously, but the Lord favors Vidya. Remember earlier on, Rishabh gave instruction to his sons. He was saying, both are existing, but I only favor those. Yeah, I prefer the transcendental qualities. I don't like the asuric qualities. So therefore, when you study your own existence, then you see, oh, I have both qualities. So then it's duality. That sometimes you're angry, sometimes you're nice. So again, don't be disturbed, because that is the nature of this material existence.
But in the process, we could also become a nuisance to others around us.
If the process,
In the process, because we have both, we are facing the duality.
yeah, possible, but you shouldn't become. The process is supposed to teach you not to become a nuisance. Prior to that, you may have been a nuisance and you didn't know, because your knowledge made you think that that is the right way, right? For example, if you are a big company holder and your company is put onto the share market, Dow Jones or whatever they call it, and then you're making a lot of money, and then you fire people left, right and center because you want to make sure your stock value is always high. Then you think that's right, because according to your existence, that makes sense. Then some devotee foolishly gave you Bhagavad Gita, then you read it, then you like, oh, then you became very interested, then you realize you are actually causing suffering to living entities unnecessarily. Then now you're seeing it differently. Correct?
From their perspective, it is survival of
Whatever.
existence.
In general, it's basically my senses, my family. But once you understand there is spirit, then you see the dichotomy immediately. Oh my God, is this existence? And then for some people they can accept that and move on, some cannot accept. Then they'll say, I don't believe it. So for devotee, once you learn that, don't be disturbed that this is happening to you also. So learn how to move with it, flow with it, practicing Krishna consciousness. Continue with spiritual realization. Text 5 and 6.
Brahmano vacha ayam jano nama chalan prithvivyam iha parthivaha parthiva kesha heto tasyapi chanagyayor adigulpa janagaha jangaha Janur madhyor sirodaram saha Amse didharvi sivika chayasyam Sauvira rajeti apadesha aste Yasmin bhavan ruda nijabhimano Rajamsi sindusva iti dharmadanadi durmadanadi.
The self-realized Brahmana Jadavarada said, among the various material combinations and permutations, there are various forms and earthly transformations. For some reason, these move on the surface of the earth and are called palanquin carriers. Those material transformations which do not move are gross material objects like stones. In any case, the material body is made of earth and stone in the form of feet, ankles, calves, knees, thighs, torso, throat and head. Upon the shoulders is the wooden palanquin, and within the palanquin is the so-called king of Sauvira. The body of the king is simply another transformation of earth, but within that body your lordship is situated, and falsely thinking that you are the king of the state of Sauvira.
Wow.
It's very nice the way he cuts him down to size,
Transformation of earth.
Yeah. And then Srila Prabhupada quotes in the middle, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti gives an example of a child heavily decorated with ornaments. Although the child's body is very delicate, he does not feel fatigue, nor do the parents think that his ornament should be taken away. The living entity has nothing to do with the bodily pains and pleasures. These are simply mental concoctions. An intelligent man will find the original cause of everything. Material combinations and permutations may be the matter of fact in worldly dealings, but actually the living force, the soul, has nothing to do with it. Then Prabhupada sarcastically he is saying, those who are materially upset take care of the body and manufacture Daridara Narayana, poor Narayana. However, it is not a fact that the soul or super soul becomes poor simply because the body is poor. This is all illusion, ignorance. Otherwise, how can you come up with such statement? If you don't know what the soul is, you don't know what the super soul, then you can come up with this kind of statements. Text 7.
Soshyaniman svam adhikasta dinam Visya nigrhana niranugrahosi Janasya goptasmi vikattahamano Nasho vashe vritta subhashu drishtaha
You want to say society of happy persons? You say Shubhash. It is a fact, however, that these innocent people carrying a palanquin without payment are certainly suffering due to this injustice. Their condition is very lamentable because you have forcibly engaged them in carrying your palanquin. This proves that you are cruel and unkind. Yet due to false prestige you are thinking that you are protecting the citizens. This is ludicrous. You are such a fool that you could not have been adored as a great man in an assembly of persons advanced in knowledge. It's very heavy, so we understand from Prabhupada's purport.
After he submitted again.
Yeah. So the king, the guru is supposed to correct, be heavy with disciples so that to get rid of their false ego. So what was his fault? He was a proud person. Proud to be a king. King Raghunatha, one can say that, well, why can't he be proud? He's a king. That was the argument. But in the Vedic culture, you cannot be proud of your position in society. You're not supposed to cultivate that kind of thing. That's what the Vedic culture is all about. You don't cultivate bad qualities, and being proud is not a good quality. So we learn from this very nice discussion here that he cuts him down. You can't be proud. You're, otherwise, whatever you do is all false. So then Prabhupada continues. Because he was proud of king, he felt he had the right to control the citizens as he liked. Now, what did Rishabhadev say? The king. What was the relationship?
As a father.
Yeah, Vatsalya.
He's like a father.
Yeah? Elevating them to spiritual path, but he was like a father to the citizens. He felt a lot of affection for them. So here you see that wasn't the case. So Raja Rishis means they are not only powerful kings who can go to battle and sort out problems, they are also like a father to their
care of
citizens. They are well wishers. Okay. And if you're not doing all that, how can you say you're the protector of your citizens? And how can they feel protected? I don't know. If you don't care about them, you only want to abuse me, then how can I feel that you're my protector? So pretty much most government nowadays are like that. People don't feel protection anymore. Right? So then Prabhupada quotes from the Shastra, actually the king should be the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For this reason he is called Nara Devata. So king is a representative of
Lord.
a Lord.